Good day, good morning, good evening, blade lovers. OG Blade Reviews with you once again with another Tenable knife. Tenable, if you don't already know, is the child company of Concept Knives. They've been out for a few months now, or let's just say new for 2024, right? And they are the budget line of Concept Knives. And they're doing a bang up job. You may recall two or three, I think at least a couple, Tenable knife reviews I did over the past month or so. And I thank Tenable for sending me this one for review. The box was a little busted here, but this is what you get. And sorry, I don't have their slip of paper with their information on the company with me here, but it does come with the package along with a very nice little microfiber cloth. Lots of plastic. And here we have, straight from Munchkinland, from the Dwarfs, is the Bombur, or Bombur. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But this happens to be a Midgards Messer, and if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I don't know, design. They are known for their ginormous, heavyweight, thick knives. This is the first one I have that's even designed by them. I don't have any of their actual blades, but if you have them or know of them, you will know that they are large and hefty. And you want to talk about hefty, we've got almost a 0.20 inches thickness on this blade. Look at that monster. Full thickness backspacer, or full length backspacer. So completely enclosed. That's a kind of a cool thing. A really interesting pocket clip that really only brings you to that point in your pocket. And then it's solid from here on out. I would say it kind of looks a little like either a pistol or a sword or something like an old flintlock. I don't know. Things come to mind when I see shapes. A full-length fuller and this belly forward drop point design. Still got a pretty fair point there, but you're not going to be able to use that point unless you get up to close to like 75, 80 degrees or so. However, you could use the belly very nicely for slicing and some detail work. And it is fairly heavy, although they've given us lots of weight relieving. We'll take a look at that when we weigh it. Action is crazy drop shut. It can be, yes, try again. Come on. Jeez. There we go. Got a pretty good detent because it's got a heavy blade, but you can middle finger flick it, and you can thumb flick it. And if I don't use the middle finger in the window there, the hole, you can, try again. There we go. You can use the fuller, even though it's fairly shallow and round on the bottom, meaning at the base of that groove. Many people that do designs with fullers where the intention is to open it with a fuller do give you a sharp, square-shouldered fuller because that works a little better. But this is still viable. And that blade is so heavy that you're going to get drop shut pretty much no matter how the tension is on the pivot. Pivot is is it a T8? I believe it's a T8 on both sides, and I don't know because I haven't tried adjusting it. I do not know, sorry about that, whether or not it's a captured pivot or not, whether it's D-shaped underneath there so that you only need to work on one side at a time and not use two wrenches. Elephant in the room here, we have something that looks like it could be a front flipper, but I can't front flip it. Maybe you can, but you're pulling on an angle and with a placement here because the jimping's way back here. and this is smooth and round here. I don't know that you're going to be able to catch the end of it. Maybe a lot of you guys that got those gummy fingers can do that. Anyway, she is a beautiful and heavy blade and budgety. Comes in a few different styles, including some blacked out, some, I think, a carbon fiber, and some other handle materials. This one is Damascus, is what they're calling it, with black and red. So it's a G10 with just kind of this color shot through it. Red Dawn is the handle name that they give the off-grid knives that have that pattern. And you got some really nice grooves in there as well. And in terms of dimensions, we've got, call it an 8.3, 8.35 maybe, overall length, pretty good. And 3.5 on the blade length. And a little longer, let's see, yeah, a lot longer. Over 3 3/4, almost a 4-inch cutting edge, which is interesting, just because of the way that the handle slants down there. In millimeters, here we go. The blade stock is, I'm going to call that 5 millimeters. 4.9, yeah, look at that. It's working with me. And 0.19 on the blade thickness in inches. The handle thickness, not going to be delicate or thin. It is 0.65. And finally, we get a weight, and we'll take a look at that weight relieving that I spoke of. We got to put the scale on, don't we? Okay. Here we go. It is 7.53 ounces. Call it 7.54 ounces. Yeah. Yeah, it's a chonky beast. Just like the character from, what is it now? Got to go find my screenshot. Bombur, Lord of the Rings, and he was known as by far the fattest dwarf in the company. I don't know, you can't see that too well because of the lights here in the studio, but there he is, bigger than life. So if you follow that, you know who we're talking about. So with that weight being 7.5-ish ounces, what do we have for weight relieving? Well, we've got significant cutouts in the liners. One in the back there on the locking side, and 3 big windows in there on the show side. And how does it feel in the hand? What are the ergos like? It's pretty confidence inspiring. You can get a grip on this baby. And I've got an inch left over. It's not a small knife, 3.5-inch blade, but the weight and the length of the handle make it appear to be even larger. You know, you think it would be a 3 3/4 inch or 4-inch bladed knife. No, 3.5-inch, but it just feels big. I mean, if you're into like the cold steel knives and the big heavy duty folders, something like, what am I thinking of? I was thinking of the Formax, kind of like the Formax. Let me go get me a Formax. I think I know where I can find one. Hang on. Well, here's the Formax Stout, which is what I was thinking of, a back locking knife. And of course, it's cold steel. Of course, it's bigger by far. Look at the size of that handle. You never get shorted on cold steel handles. And maybe 1/2 inch longer on the blade. What do we got? 4-inch blade on the Formax Scout. One that I don't often carry, but probably should. And that is a beast in terms of weight as well. What do we got? What do we have? 7.5 on that one. And over 10 ounces on the cold steel. Okay. So if your game is big, then this wins. But blade style, very similar, wouldn't you say? Very similar. Got a little more of an abrupt drop, and we have a fuller. But we've got it's about the same, well, higher flat grind here because we got maybe the blades are about the same width. They're just using up some of the blade real estate here with the fuller. Okay, and yeah, it's a thick one too, but 0.20 or 0.19 on that one, 0.18 on this one. So almost there. It's actually got a thicker blade, and it just looks thicker because it's a slightly smaller knife than the cold steel. Did I say slightly? Smaller. Compared to another Tenable, the Ness Street. I think it's supposed to be like a Nessamuk style knife. This is another Tenable that I did a review on about a month or so ago. We've got same length, and we've got slightly longer blade, maybe. I would call it the same. It's a button lock, and it's a beauty. Really great action on this. Tenable's doing a bang-up job on their only several knives that have come out yet. Now, maybe half a dozen at the most. Here's the Silo by Kubi, designed by James Lowe. And whole different blade style, but same length knife, pretty much same length blade. We've got a sheep's foot going on here. This is a beauty of a knife. If you don't have this or haven't considered it, it is gorgeous. Unfortunately, I think they only made it in, what is it? 14C. I think. I can barely read that. And if I didn't mention it, although it would have already been up on the specs when I did that, this is D2. This is a D2 knife. And when you look at the high-end Midgards Messer knives, that is the steel that they use on the $300 plus knives. So they're not considering it a budget steel. We may certainly consider it a budget steel, but if it's properly heat treated and hardened, it was the big deal 10 years ago, let's say, maybe 8 years ago even, before, you know, production companies started using more 154 CM, which was a custom knife steel, ATS 34. And then finally, like the stainless, the highly stainless steels like 14C and whatnot early. But D2 on this guy. And just another look around, really nice polished chamfer there on the liner. Fully exposed liners. They are thick. And it is a beefy, heavyweight knife. And we've got, I didn't check this out, but I'm pretty sure it's steel. Yeah, that's why it's so heavy. I mean, look at the, if they did half a backspacer, it would be lighter, right? Liner and the backspacer are steel. Some form of stainless steel, don't ask me what. 312, 300 series, something or other. But no, those would be without iron in them. So I don't know. Is it that important? Not particularly, but it is a ferrous-based steel for the back spacer and the liners. Well, there you go, the Bombur. And I'm simply going to say Bombur, not Bombur, Bombur. I probably should have looked for the pronunciation since I did that Wikipedia lookup. And let's see. Nope. They don't give the phonetics, but I'm going to call it Bombur. Call it what you like, or correct me. Let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think of this review and this knife. You'll right now see my logo here. If you click on that, you can subscribe if you haven't already, and be notified of all the new stuff when it comes out. and when my videos drop. You take care, be well, be safe. OG Blades, signing out.